Okay, so I opened this kiln yesterday, and kiln openings were taking like 20 minutes, so I got everything out, and I thought I would talk about glazes a little bit. All these glazes are based on two slips, Alberta and Ravenscrag, and they're both from Plainsman Clay in Canada. Alberta this is Alberta all by itself, and it's got a little bit of frit in it to help it melt. At cone 6, at cone 10, it'll just melt. You don't need to put anything in it. You just add water to it, put it on the pot. But it's translucent, sort of a honey colored glaze. And the Ravenscrag is translucent and more cleared. This is a pretty white body, and this is the Ravenscrag on top of it. Little cobalt, little iron oxide, and then that's Alberta on the inside, and that's where the Ravenscrag, when I dipped it in the Ravenscrag, it got some on the inside, and that's the blend between the two. This is a Ravenscrag with, it's the M, GR6M, and it's got cobalt, tin, and iron oxide, and manganese, and no, doesn't have all that in it. I can't remember exactly what it has in it. 3 or 4 colorants, iron oxide and cobalt being 2 of them, and I think maybe some tin. And this is the white, Ravenscrag white, and it's just a clear Ravenscrag with some Zirocpax to opacify it, turn it white. And it's on pretty thin there. You can see some of the iron in the clay and whatnot. This is a speckled body. It's got iron in the clay, and those speckles are coming through the white from the clay body. You can see the speckles here. And then this is the GR6M on the outside. This is the F, and it's GA6F, which is the Alberta. GR is the Ravenscrag, and then 6 means the cone. So GR is Glaze, Ravenscrag 6, and then dash F, or this is GA6F, and this is it is just Rutile, and no cobalt in this, and it sometimes it's bluer than this, but if you put it on too thin, it turns into a baby shit brown. You can see a little bit of it here, and this had that on it, the GA6F, and it turned baby shit brown, and it was a little bit blue down here, and he calls it oatmeal, and it sort of has a modeling that looks sort of oatmeal, but it has Rutile in it, so it will turn a little bit blue like the other one did on the top. So anyway, this was baby shit brown, and I didn't like it, so I sanded on it and then put the M on it, and heated it up with the torch and put more M on it, and heated up with the torch and put more M on it, and then I refired it. So that's a refire. You can see the brown poking through. This is also the refire. Those blue spots are where I put the M on it on top of the F, and that happened, but the rest of it was just baby shit brown where the F was. You can see it poking through, and so I refired that with more of the M on it. This is just pure M, and it's on a Laguna Buff, and when it gets thin, it sort of goes a little bit green and translucent, like it did on the lip. This Alberta on the inside, I like that a lot. This is the Ravenscrag Clear, which is the base. They call it GR6-A, and it's got little Iron Oxide and Cobalt Blue. I played with it a little bit, and the blue there, and then it's got the Alberta GA6A on the inside. The other glaze that I've mixed up is a Celadon, and this is the best example. This is a Celadon. It's got rutile and iron and cobalt and manganese and tin, and if you take the rutile out, this blue doesn't happen, and that blue only happens when it gets thick. See, it's green where it's thin. It's green up here, and then where it pooled in that groove, it got thick. If you take the rutile out, it just all stay green. And I'm going to try that next. And but that looks really nice though. And it's Alberta on the inside. This is the clear, Ravenscrag Clear. And I did put a B and a Roadrunner, my initials and stuff. Just playing with the different, what this looks like under that, you know. And then, this is the other one I did with that glaze. And I had some Iron Oxide Slip that I did a poppy there, and put my name on the bottom. But this is a little closer to what it should look like down here. I put a coat on it, and then I dipped it that far into a second coat, and I should have just put the single coat on it, and it would have all turned out like that. And that's what I was wanting to do. Is I want to see that green. It's supposed to look really good on really light colored glaze. And this is the 6F, or the GA6F, and this is the one that would turn baby shit brown if it's too thin. So I put it on pretty thick, and it ran, and I had a plate under it because I knew it likes to run, and but it glued itself to the. This is one Andre's. Everything else I had shown you there is mine. I did sort of a cobalt wash. That's Simon Leach's cobalt wash. And then this is an Iron Oxide Roadrunner B's. I just did little things on each one of those panels. Alberta on the inside, Ravenscrag Clear on the outside. And that's pretty much that. This is a red body clay with the Ravenscrag Clear on it. And sort of milks it a little bit. I think those are bubbles, micro bubbles from cooling too slow, I think. And that's cobalt on the inside. That was a red-bodied slip on a light body, so I coated the whole thing with red slip. That's a red clay slip. And then this is what the clay looks like when you fire it. This is Alberta with some cobalt and stuff. I think that's June Perry's Oxide Wash 83 or something like that. Just trying different techniques for putting stuff underneath. I don't care for how this turned out, but let's put poppies on it with brush. These are brush stroke poppies. I think this is at June Perry's 83, an Iron Oxide, alternated 83 Iron Oxide, 83 Iron Oxide, and Alberta on the inside. So that's all I got. I'm gonna try to do another firing this week. This is a slip trilling, Iron Oxide slip trilling. You can see a texture. It's bump. It's not just a coloration. It's one of those lids was a little loose. Which one was it? This lid was loose, so I just built up slip on it and got another 1/16 out of it or so. It makes it fit a lot tighter. Yeah. The handles are getting better. Well, that's it. Keep practicing. You know, test about 100 glazes and come back tomorrow. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. Right.